we had the defending national champion Florida Gators taking on the Duke Blue Devils in a matchup that personally it pulls at my heartstrings, J man. As a front court player, you get possibly, I'd say at worst, a top three front court in the country for Florida, going up against what right now is probably the best front court player or best player in the country, damn near, and Cam Boozer, the freshman. It's a really, really great matchup. Florida coming into Cameron Indoor. I know you will be in the building for that game. I know it's going to be rocking. I'm gonna throw it to you first for your thoughts on this game and the matchup against the defending national champs, who had a little bit of an odd week, I would say, last week, or maybe a little odd season so far. But I'll throw it to you first for your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I mean, the front court matchup has the chance to be the best front court matchup in college basketball, as at least up to date. I mean, just what the Florida Gators bring to Durham, that is their strength. And then Duke having the best player in the country and Cam Boozer being a power forward, center, whatever you want to put him at. And then Pat Gongba, he could also be an impact guy for Duke as well. He has shown that in some big games. He was a little quiet against Arkansas, but he had a couple big games early in the season, and the Tennessee exhibition I'm going to count because I needed to see something against a talented team. I know it's exhibition, but I'm putting it out there that Pat did all right with that. So you had Cam Boozer, Pat Gongba, and then what Malik Brown does defensively against the talented front court of Florida. It's going to be really good. But my X factor is the backcourt because Xavier Lee, Boogie Flan, they've been inefficient all year, and then they had a good game against Providence finally, but it's kind of like playing roulette. It's like my number finally hit. Am I going to keep my chip on that same number? Things going to hit back-to-back times, or am I going to move it on the board? So Xavier Lee, really good game against Providence, but it's just like, can you do it now against a backcourt defense that Duke has that's going to make it tough for them? So it's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, it is. And to the point with Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan, two guys that are most certainly capable, right? It's like you're waiting for it to happen. Is it
Yeah.
going to happen? Maybe a little bit less with Xavier Lee than Boogie Flan necessarily, just because of the up transfer kind of thing that's going on here. But let me tell you right now, I've had this thing with Duke all year, just as far as like me being lower on Duke than everybody else, and Duke fans let me have it. And by the way, y'all are 100% in the right for letting me do that. One thing you will never ever hear come out of my mouth though, this team is so nasty defensively, it pisses me off, truthfully. Like, they are holding opponents right now to 40% field goal percentage. This is the number four defense in the country. When I watch it, I'm surprised it's fourth, to be honest with you. It's really that good between Boozer and Gogba, and then you have Caleb Foster, Dame Sar, and then they bring in Malik Brown as like this Swiss Army knife everywhere, hands everywhere. It's just a really, really tough defense to score on. And, coming from a Florida standpoint here, if I'm a guard that's trying to find myself, the last thing I want to see is Duke defense. I want to see Providence defense, which was probably a lot of fun for them. I don't want to see Duke's defense in Cameron Indoor. What do the Florida guards have to do you think, to, I guess, get after this Duke defense? Is it as simple as like making shots? Because you look back to the Arkansas game, Arkansas was in it for a little while, and it was kind of just like Acuff and Malik Thomas and the guards just kind of making tough shots.
Yeah, Acuff dude is so tough. Like, not even trying to do a pun to his last name, but he is tough. His 8 to 17, they are all tough buckets. He is
Yeah.
special. And I don't know if Duke will play another guard that's capable of hitting big shots like that. I did a film breakdown on it and I'm like, damn, this dude was just pulling. And
Yeah.
he had a floater in the lane where he was getting strapped. And I'm like, all right, that's not college basketball level right there. And Malik Thomas was 5 of 15. I mean, of course, he hit a tough three to like cut it the lead to one or something like that late in the second half. But I thought Duke did a good job on him. But to answer your question, Xavier Lee is really good at dancing with the ball. Like
Yeah.
he dropped the Providence defender, hit a step back three. I don't think it's going to happen against Duke, but if he uses his ball handling to where he can drive and kick and Boogie Flan catch and shoot, then that's where they're going to get their points. Them trying to like create off the dribble against this Duke defense, it's going to be inefficiency that Florida's seen all year if they do that. Xavier Lee will go 5-15 if he's trying to take Caleb Foster one-on-one and try and do a tough step back or pull up. Like Boogie Flan needs to penetrate and kick to Xavier Lee, catch and shoot, that type of thing to where you're just kind of simple, like simplicity almost in the backcourt. Just drive and kick, little dribble drive. If you do that, they'll shoot better. But if they try and take their man on an island and try and hit a tough shot, which they can do, it's just not going to bode well for Florida.
Yeah, and look, if you're Florida, right now you're one of the worst teams in the country from 3-point range, just under 28%. which kind of inherently makes you have to get buckets down low, which is like I said, not the place I want to go to if I'm trying to score on Duke is going down low with the front court that they have. The interesting matchup for me, obviously, I think you make an argument Cam Booth is the best player in the country right now, National Player of the Year favorite, everything about that. It's got to be awesome to be a Duke fan. You just like lose Cooper Flag and just like go ahead and re-one right back up. That's got to be really fun. Congratulations to you. Um, what do you think Todd Golden will do defensively with the team? Because I know you and I were talking offline. We were surprised to see Arkansas just try to go one-on-one and let those guys kind of defend it straight up. And we saw what the result of that is. Florida's a little bit different though, because they got some guys that, are very versatile, very long, very good defensively. What do you think is going to be the game plan for Florida defensively in that one?
Yeah, I think Calipari had a lot of confidence in Trevin Brazil. Like he's a good defender, but not. I mean, that's an oak tree that you're trying to guard with feet.
Right.
And we saw what happened on the island, and we saw what Bill Self did with Kansas, where they double the catch. And you're one, Cam Boozer is so good. I think his best ability is his passing ability.
Mhm.
And so when you double him, you're already making it a lot easier for him just throw over top to the guy that's wide open. He wants that. And
Right.
then the second thing he wants is an ISO situation where he has all the time in the world to just dictate where the defender's going to go and he's going to put him in the rim. So I think Todd Golden, like Houck and Condon are guys that can hold their own initially with Cam Boozer, but maybe when he puts the ball on the floor, you see a Boogie Flan or Xavier Lee really crowd that area to where now he has to pick up the ball to kick it out somewhere else, which is a completely different double team, as you know, than just catching and then trapping on the catch.
Right.
I think you want to trap when he puts the ball on the floor. And Todd Golden won national championships, so I think that he's like, okay, this didn't work for Cal of letting him just be on an island. This didn't work for Bill Self that they trapped on the catch. Let's trap on the dribble and see if we can slow down Cam Boozer.
Yeah, obviously Todd Golden's a very smart guy, very analytically driven in how he coaches the game. Um, I think it is going to be a case where, even back to the Texas game, I'm not the biggest Sean Miller guy, but what they did defensively, it really was kind of what you said. It wasn't an initial double, but the minute he got towards like the free throw line, it was dig, dig, dig coming from everywhere. And that can work, right? And that's probably the option you want to go with. Unless, then Cam Booth starts kicking out and you're getting Dom XR corner threes or you're getting Caleb Foster or Isaiah Evans is getting good looks, then you start maybe readjusting there. But one thing I don't think that Florida is going to at least attempt to do is they're not going to just let Cam Boozer go one on one. That's because that's not the recipe. That's not the way to win.
No, it's not the way to win. And that was kind of like maybe Calipari's like, hey, we'll let him beat us and nobody else beats us. And, parts of that game, it kind of looked smart when they went up seven in the second half, maybe. But also in the first 9 minutes, Cam Boozer did not exist in that game. And
Right.
he had 30, what do you have, 35, and he
Yeah.
didn't score until the 11-minute mark in the first half. So, you know, one guy can apparently beat you, even if you're a top 25 team like Arkansas. So I think now it's like, okay, let's eliminate the guy. And then who is, because Duke fan, for me, anyways, I'm still looking for the second option. Like,
Mhm.
Cam Boozer's out of it. Isaiah showed it against Texas and he showed it against Kansas. And then Pat Gongba has shown flashes here and there.
Mhm.
But Caleb Foster was kind of the savior for Duke against Arkansas, which is great. But I would like to see more consistency of, Slim getting his not just a 4 minute spurt and then that's it. I want to see it throughout the game. Like he hits a couple big threes in the first half, then a couple big buckets in the second half, rather than just feels like a 5 minute stretch in a game where he gets 15 of his 18. So
Right.
that's
It's
what I
like
want to
it's
see.
like his role being different. Like last year, that was great for last year's team for him to give
Right.
like 4 minute spurts. Like that was like a backbreaker that guy was on the team to give 4 minute spurts. Now he's in this role where sophomore now started on this team. Like you want him to take that step as kind of that second option. And I'm not even saying that he's been. I think he's obviously much improved, more minutes, still 35% from three. Honestly, for a guy like him not being close to the 40s a little bit, but obviously he also takes some tough ones. So I think that is going to be big for Duke moving forward. But the one thing you can say for Florida's defense is that when they do the digging in and everything like that, you're getting funneled to Condon, Chinlelu. Those guys are just massive players, massive human beings. And I know a lot of people like to have discussions about Cam Boozer and finishing at the rim against front courts that look like this. This is going to be a big test for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because he did a good job against Arkansas of finishing around the rim.
Mhm.
And they had a good, I think Nick Pringle, I think teams were players shooting 0 of 6 around the rim against him at the rim. And, I was very impressed with Cam Boozer in that regard against Arkansas. And now here comes the biggest test of the season with this Florida front court because he has his dad's genes, unfortunately, his athleticism, where he's not gonna go up there and posterize you, right?
Right.
He's got the Cooper Flag athleticism. He has the Carlos Boozer genes. So if he can just finesse his way enough to, they were saying throwing elbows against Arkansas. That happened one time. That happened one time. If he can just use that weight and finish with his offhand to eliminate shot blocking, that'd be great. And also, he does a really good job of passing when he's driving. And so, if he drives and Florida really is like, okay, we got to eliminate him from scoring here, he's
Mm.
going to dish it. He's going to dump it down to Pat Gongbo like for a lob, or he's going to kick it to the corner three if the guy comes in to try and swipe. So, I that is that is something I'm gonna look after for this game is Cam Boozer around the rim. Like, is Florida going to swarm him? Can he finish? And that is, if he can and he burns them, then Duke's going to win this game.
Right. And then, once he does do that, Florida is a team that is pretty solid on the glass, given how, good they are offensively. Or sorry, how big they are on that end of the floor. But to me, what this is going to come down to is like Florida went out and they spent money on their backcourt. Those guys got bags. Those guys are talented players. You paid those guys for games like this in Cameron Indoor. You're going to need those guys to play well.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they going to play well though? Like that's the key.
I just Here's the thing. Like I believe in Xavier Lee. Like highlights are fascinating, but even the shots that he misses, I'm like, that's a good look. Like
Right.
he's like that. It's gonna fall for him. I don't know if it's gonna fall for him at Duke, but like during the season, I still have stock in Xavier Lee. Boogie Flan, on the other hand, I think it's just Boogie Flan. Like
Right.
he was
It's
not.
the Boogie Flan experience.
Yes, he was inefficient at Arkansas. Arkansas was better when he was out, and now he's at Florida. And the game against Providence, I'm like, yeah, the backcourt played pretty well. And then I forgot he was like 6 of 18 against Providence. So it's
Mhm.
just like, that's just who he is. To where if he goes for 50% or better, then Florida's going to win this game because I would be shocked to see him shoot 50% or better against Duke's backcourt. And he just that's the handicap for Florida. And probably the one thing I'd ask Todd Golden, like, what did you see out of Boogie Flan to like bring him to this offense that was so good last year with Walter Clayton and them? But yeah, I just don't know, man. I think the backcourt will be the reason Duke wins and why Florida loses because the inefficiency with Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee.
Yeah, I think coming into this game, I feel good about Florida long term, given the points that you said. I just don't know if like a Tuesday, early December, and Cameron Indoor is like the spot to figure things out. Like that's not the one I want to get going. I maybe want to get closer to SEC play and maybe get those guards on the same page. But look, I think a massive test for both front courts. Let's go. Without further ado, I feel like we need to get to predictions on this game. I think I know which way you're going. I think you know which way I'm going on this one, but I will throw it to you first on your prediction for this game.
Yeah, I mean, Ken Palm has like 82-74. I kind of think that's close to on the nose for me. I
Mhm.
would probably go Duke 84, and then I'm going to say Florida. I'm going to keep it 74. So 84-74. I think Duke wins by 10 or double digits.
That's a fair one. Yeah, I just think that, I'm gonna bet. I think it's a coin flip. I don't think that Florida's guards are gonna be good enough in this one. And I also think, Cameron Indoor, those shots for like the guys that Boozer's kicking out to are gonna feel real good. Foster's gonna hit a couple, Evans will hit a couple, Kaminia. Like I feel like those guys, the other guys surrounding Cam, I think are gonna make a lot of shots and put a lot of pressure on this Florida team. And look, if Duke's hitting threes, then like good luck. Like that sounds ass. To get him out the way before you play my Michigan State Spartans is what I say. I'll go Duke. Give me 85-69. I think a pretty comfortable win, to be honest with you. I just don't believe in Florida's guards in this one. But once this game happens, we will have the recap here on the channel. Going to be a really big matchup, really fun one to watch. Like I said, J-Man will be in the building for that one, so very excited to talk with him after the game. So be sure to tune into the channel. We have all your previews and recaps for all the big games across the country.